Hi everybody, I'm going to cut to the chase here in the beginning and just say this is a video about screens inside your van so you can look more stealth and have your windows down. We've noticed that a lot of van lifers have apparatuses outside of their van, and we wanted to figure something out so that we could be in parking lots and keep the bugs out, as well as have the windows down and not look like we're necessarily living out of the van. If you know what a mosquito net is, they use them a lot in the tropical regions of the world. This is basically the concept of a mosquito net, but we've used what we already had for our curtains, and we also have a storage net in the van, so we couldn't necessarily just buy a mosquito net and put it up. If you can do that, it's going to save you time. You can go to maybe an Indian grocery store or Pakistani store, see if they have a mosquito net. Sometimes they can be as cheap as 10 or 15 bucks, and you could try to do something where you can install it in the middle of your bed and just have it down and tuck it underneath your bed. And that's going to be the ultimate stealth. And if you're like us, I mean, we don't stay in the van all the time, but if we did, this still has a lot more room. So let's show them what we've got here. We have a video on curtains, by the way, so if you are still trying to figure out what's going on with our system, this is just in addition to the curtains video. So these handles for the Toyota Sienna minivan that we have, there's one on the passenger side, 2 on the passenger side, 3 on the passenger side. Then we've got a screw that Gumby carefully put in on the back here and up here. And then again on the driver's side, we've got 1, 2 handles, and right behind or in line with the driver's seat, well, actually, I'm wrong. Right in front of the driver's seat, he's got not a handle, but another screw that he's carefully put into the plastic there. So that's what it's tied to. Thank you. For the front part, we've got mule tape. We found it on the side of the road. And we've got 2 carabiners, 1 each side, attached to our curtain string. Can you see that?
Not very well. Can you maybe lift the net up that's the roof? Yeah.
Sure. So it's just basically, just tying the mule tape, or it doesn't have to be mule tape, any sort of string that's going to get you something that goes across. And we also use a curtain here when we're not using the screen. So we have a curtain that goes up and it blocks out the area that we're sleeping in. So the same concept allows the screen to be, we don't need to be up front. We're going to be back here sleeping. And this screen is running from the front to the back. All right. Now the side curtains, or the side screens, are basically this size screen cut in half. And I would measure it for your minivan, obviously. But we just had screens that we found in the dumpster. And I used safety pins to pin it so that it would be on our curtain string here. So that's how the sides are held up, just with safety pins. You could also maybe use binder rings, or if you have a lot of carabiners, but we were just doing this on the cheap. So something to fasten your sides to the curtain string. And the reason I did this in the middle like this was just, instead of cutting the screen and keeping it up, this allows us to access our net storage, and it's just, it's relatively easy. So I'm going to let down the side now. Maybe Gumby, you can come over here. And this is, we've got 2 adults and a dog in here. And this is a full-size futon mattress. So we've got a full-size bed that's going to be covered by this screen. So just like the curtains, we keep the screens clipped up on the sides. And when we're ready to put the screens down, and these are raggedy ass screens, y'all. We found these screens in a dumpster. An employee had cut them like 6 times on each side, so they have like gaping holes that our dog could fit through. We tried to start sewing them, and it's just a lot of work. So we're working with raggedy screens. Maybe you can get, I even thought about the idea of getting the same type of material that tutus are made out of, kind of like that, I don't know what it's called, like taffeta or something, but it's just some sort of material that's going to keep the bugs out. Or you can get all fancy and try to find the no-seam screen. This isn't quite no-seam, but it's good enough. I think it's from maybe something for a gazebo. So yeah, if you're desperate and you can't figure anything else out for this setup, you could potentially spend money and get a gazebo screen setup and cut it. But just be really sure before you cut it so you don't make like an $80 mistake. So yeah, so the screen is down. You could leave it just like this. That's fairly easy because our screen has a lot of holes in it. I just pin it, and we got these clips like from Gumby's mom. She's got a bunch of them. You can find them in grocery stores, or just, you know, use whatever you've got and just close up any sort of place where bugs can get in. And you'd be surprised, like, there are flies that can find their way into these holes, so I try to do my best to just kind of tuck the screen, and at the handles especially, use a little clip here. But yeah, that's basically it. Gumby, do you have anything to say about how we use these, or?
Well, we realized that this is really hard to show on video, so we were trying to get ideas, and by watching videos, we got some ideas that we adapted. So that's what we expect anybody who benefits from this video to do, is to adapt these ideas, that hopefully this will jog your imagination and you can find your own way of doing this. And like Teresa said, these are raggedy, scavenged screens that have big holes in them. But we spent a summer without any screens, and so we got a taste of what it's like to either have all the windows up in the summer, which is really stifling,
Yeah.
or have the windows down and just get eaten by bugs and have the sheet over us and still, you know, suffering. So these screens, even as imperfect as they are, have made a big difference. And a big advantage over what we've seen other people do, as Teresa said, and I'm just elaborating on a little bit,
Yeah.
is that they are camouflage. So we can go in a place that we don't want to look like we're living out of our van and, you know, have these screens up. And it really is a very subtle thing, because it's basically we're in a mosquito tent
Yeah.
inside of our van.
Yeah.
So,
And there was something else that, you know, we were trying to do this really on the cheap. We were trying to have the most amount of space and the most accessibility to things. We keep our food back here. I can like reach back here and get snacks. We keep books and other things up here in the net. And we even have our water bottles that are kind of keeping the screen off of us. So if you can imagine 2 people and a dog in this space, and you know, it's not a small dog. It's kind of difficult to keep the screens out of the way, but this setup is pretty ingenious because I'm not going to be way over here on the bed, and yet, you know, I've got all this space. It's not like the mosquito tents or the mosquito nets that I told you about at the store. That would mostly work if it was just you sleeping. But since we need all the space we can get, this keeps the screens off of us, like the maximum that you can do that. And like I said, it's not a perfect no-seam screen, but it keeps the bugs out. We've been some pretty buggy places, and yeah, we actually used to use these on the outside of the van with magnets, like really strong magnets, and I've seen other van lifers do that, and it's okay when you're out in the middle of the country or you have permission to be somewhere, but otherwise it just looks really crappy. Like, it looks like you're living out of your van.
and when we are in a place that we don't have to be so stealth, we can open the side doors and have a cross breeze.
Yeah.
And still be protected from bugs. And we just carefully lift up the bottom there and come in and out. Yeah.
Yeah, and Sherlock can get out, and it's not a big deal to just tuck it, and if you want to clip it, yeah. Just
And when
get
I
you
take
some
my
cheap
clothes off
clips.
for the night, I'll often bunch them right here on the edge, and that'll hold the screen down. So yeah, works pretty good. It's made a big difference along with this fan here.
Oh yeah,
to
the
help us.
fan helps too.
Yeah, summers can be rough living out of your van. So these are a couple of tricks that have really made a difference for us.
Yeah, so good luck. Try to keep the bugs off of you, and let us know what you think. Comment, let us know how you're handling bugs in your van life.
Goodbye.